Good evening. On behalf of Stephen Rosenfield, I'd like to welcome you to the American Comedy Institute live virtual stand-up comedy show. Tonight, you're going to see comics from all across the United States, some making their stand-up debut as a culmination of our May comedy workshop. Very excited to show off all of their hard work. We do hold workshops every month, and we do hold live shows at Gotham, but tonight, you're getting the virtual edition. So please go ahead and follow ACI Comedy on all the things, social media. Go to our website at acicomedy.com. Go on YouTube and hit that like and subscribe button right now. And in case this is your first time with us, well, Stephen Rosenfield started the American Comedy Institute in New York City back in 1989. Steve's an award-winning comedy writer, director, and the author of the best-selling book, Mastering Stand-Up. Alumni of the American Comedy Institute have gone on to perform on The Night Show, the Tonight Show, The Late Show, Conan, SNL, clubs all across the world. So you may just be getting a glimpse of our next ACI star. I'm your host tonight, Jay Yoder, and we're going to have some fun. So let me know in the chat where you're watching from. Excited to get it going. Because listen, we as comedians do comedy everywhere. I did a show last week at a gun range. Yeah, never held a gun in my life. And I know what I look like. But let me tell you what, I took that first shot. I get it. I got there in a Prius. I left in an F-250. They updated my voter registration. I mean, I took that first shot and my beard grew in thicker. I mean, listen, guns are scary for me because I've been a public school teacher for 21 years. Okay. Like, I know there's all sorts of legislation about teachers packing heat. I'm barely qualified to pack my own lunch. Okay. I don't have money to buy bullets. This is not the way. I mean, and listen, 21 years, I should be able to retire. If I was in the military for 21 years, I could retire full pension and benefits. I mean, I have a Purple Heart. My doctor said it's not good. I mean, like, listen, if you've served, I'm not saying it's the same. I think we all know war is safer. I mean, listen, I have PTSD from the smells of a middle school. Do you remember what middle school smells like? They don't bathe. They use fragrance bombs. I'm like, I should be able to take Bath and Body Works to the UN for war crimes. I mean, the smells are unnatural. This is me doing hall duty. Candy apple Newports? What is that? I mean, listen, I've never been maced, but I've been axed. And I'll tell you what, morning breakfast duty, that's the worst punishment you could ever get because they don't bring MREs. They bring Takis. That's it. That's what they think is a balanced breakfast. And if you don't know what a Taki is, it's basically a Dorito, but it's rolled up like a joint, right? They spray paint it with this ghost pepper dust. I mean, I walked through a cloud of Taki dust last week. Have you ever been secondhand Takied? I had a Fuego contact high, and now I'm addicted. I'm doing rails of this shit in between classes. I'm jonesing so bad right now, I'd cut a bitch for a gram of blue heat. Okay. Do you know what a gram of blue heat costs in a middle school? Do you know what the street value of a gram of blue heat? Two Chromebook chargers and a broken pencil. And I can't even relate to the kids. That's the other reason I need 20 and out. I tried to tell them that I used to work at Blockbuster. They looked at me like as if I was giving a TED talk at an ancient rituals museum. Gather round. Let me tell you about a time before the algorithm knew you were sad. It's like we didn't Netflix was a building. Right? We didn't scroll. We wandered like hunter-gatherers looking for these magic rectangles while your dad told you to hurry the F up. And like if somebody got the last copy of Space Jam, you waited like a peasant for days. This kid Braden in the back there was like, Mr. Yoder, why didn't you just download it? Oh, sweet summer child. It was 1996. Let me paint you a picture, okay? The internet sounded like R2D2 was being waterboarded. And if by some miracle you did download it, it would have taken 3 days and you would have given the family computer chlamydia. 20 and out. I'm telling you, it's just 20 and out. And I've been teaching at a public school for 21 years, but I went to Catholic school. Okay. I had Sister Doreen in sixth grade. I hated her so much. I skipped so much school. She came at me one day and I was like, Sister, listen, I thought you'd be proud. I gave up school for Lent. What would Jesus do? I mean, if she if she knew I was a teacher right now, she would be rolling in her grave. Okay, I don't even know if she's dead. Do nuns die? I mean, I know they get sick. We used to have substitutes. One time we had a substitute. I was reenacting my favorite blockbuster movie in the back of the classroom, The Karate Kid. And my buddy Bob was like, sweep the leg, sweep the leg. But instead of Steve Boguski's leg, I swept the leg of the table that held the Virgin Mary statue. Psh, yeah, this thing shattered like my hopes of getting into heaven. I started praying immediately. I was like, Hail Mary, full of super glue. Hallowed be thy name. I was nervous because a mirror is what, 7 years? What do you get for decapitating the mother of God? Well, as it turns out, 21 years of teaching middle school. So Lania's rolling them in. Those kids are going to have that thing reprogrammed and vaping in the bathroom with them by fifth period. Okay. All right. I'm excited for our next comedian. He hails from Pennsylvania, as do I. You're going to see why he's very, very funny. Please welcome to the stage from Bethlehem, PA, Shane Cohen.
Thank you, Jay. I was only 5 years old when my parents enrolled me in martial arts because they wanted me to be physically fit and disciplined, and I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle. It was a win-win. I was going to fight the evil Shredder, save New York City, and eat lots of pizza. It was going to be awesome. I was expecting a modern dojo with nunchucks and smoke bombs. But when we arrived at the dojo, it was located in a strip mall beside a laundromat, and the only smoke came from the hookah lounge on the other side. Then my parents introduced me to my new sensei, Master Randy Beam. Master Beam was a 6'4" giant of a man, especially to a small child. He was really intimidating, yet there was something magnetic about him that just drew you to him. He was a white man in his 50s with a mustache, a huge beer belly, and a bad comb-over. His chest and back hair protruded out of his uniform like a giant untrimmed chia pet. He was like an unkept Steven Seagal, the Russian version. In fact, he could have starred in Under Siege 3, the Bethlehem Buffet. But what he lacked in appearance, he made up for in unearned self-confidence. For example, his dojo slogan was, "Don't just look like the best, be the best." I took one look at him and I thought, huh, okay, pal, sure. B was spelled B-E-E because his dojo logo was a grimacing bee stinging a lion, which made no sense to me at all until I understood his mindset. His mindset was that of a complete and utter psychopath. "Hello, son. Welcome to my dojo. My name is Master Randy Beam, and I will be guiding your transformation. I am your Michelangelo, not the turtle, the other one. I see a beast inside of you, and I will carve until it is released. I will transform you from the soft, baby chinchilla that stands before me into a cold, savage chin killer." The next morning was my first class. I was with kids ages 5 to 12, and it set the tone for the next 6 years. "Good morning, class. My name is Master Randy Beam, and I am here to teach you what your elementary school teachers won't. How to defend yourself against attacks. For you, your family, and coyotes. You will become an unstoppable force of nature, like your future ex-wives. You will transform your body into a physical specimen that will never break down or leave your significant other unsatisfied. You will develop an unbreakable will, so when your wife inevitably leaves you for your FedEx delivery man, Steve Jenkins. You will turn that pain into the fuel that drives you to excellence. And by excellence, he meant a one-bedroom studio apartment overlooking a laundromat and a hookah lounge. You are here to become the leaders of your pack. What's that, Tommy? Yes, you may go pee-pee. But remember, children, in the battle of life, there are no potty breaks. I have gone number 1 and number 2 in the heat of battle as I chased the FedEx truck and Steve Jenkins out of my cul-de-sac. Now, Master Beam loved to take us on field trips, especially to public parks. He said nature provided everything we needed to transform from a breadstick to a battering ram. Good morning, children. This morning you will climb this huge hill, carrying on your back my 40-pound niece. Jacqueline, front and center. But sir, I can't. She's too heavy. Too heavy? If you think she's too heavy, boy, you haven't felt the weight of the IRS. Chasing you down for 5 years of back taxes, plus interest. That weight doesn't just crush your back. It crushes your soul. Now bend over and let her ride. Now, one thing I loved about martial arts was it was never canceled for rain, thunder, or lightning. In fact, when a huge storm would hit, Master Beam would become giddy, and he'd move class outside. A concerned mom would ask, "Excuse me, Randy, isn't it a bit dangerous to hold class outside in a storm like this?" When you're inside the dojo, it's Master Beam to you and your son, ma'am. Although, if you play your cards right, someday it could be Daddy. If you think rain and lightning is dangerous, what happens when the storm of life hits your little boy? When the hurricane of debt collectors, repo men, and FedEx drivers come to take what's his? Will he be able to defend his belongings? Or will he crawl back into the safe space of his mama's womb? Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some wet chinchillas to mold. After 4 years of intense training, that would have put the Navy SEALs at an extreme challenge, we were finally ready to face our greatest foe. Steve Jenkins. Thank you.
Give it up for Shane Cohen. And I think we all have a nemesis in Steve Jenkins. I just think we should all forget Cobra Kai. We just all need a little Master Beam in our life. That's what I think. Now, before I bring up your next comedian, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I'd love to try my hand at stand-up comedy, then we would love to help you. Our next workshop is in June. It's actually an in-person held in New York City, but it can be completed in 5 days if you're someone who's out of town. So please check our website at AmericanComedyInstitute.com for more information. We'd love to have you join the ACI family. And now I'm going to be moving on to our next act. Brooklyn native, currently in the Jersey Shore, very funny. Please welcome Sam Casson.
Thank you very much, Jay. Hey, guys. As a child, my poker playing dad hoped that I'd be the best kid in school. So he called me Ace after the most valuable card in the deck. Then I went to school and he saw my report card. So he started calling me Deuce. And it stuck. So I'm known as Sammy the Deuce. See, folks, I was never a go-getter. I made $200 once. My dad had me manage a store of his once. And after a couple of years, he said to me, Deuce, I saw your work over the last couple of years. And now I'm going to name the store after you. I go, really? You're going to name it Joe Casson and Son? He's like, no, I'm going to name it Going Out of Business. See, I think it's because I always felt sleepy all the time. I think for that reason, I can identify with Joe Biden. Where where am I? I'm the president. Uh, my fellow Americans, uh, where I want to just everybody. I want to introduce you to my wife, Kamala Harris, and, and my vice president, Joe Biden. Oh, oh. But there's one politician that I could really relate to, and that's Bernie Sanders. I really feel like Bernie is talking to me. I feel like he's saying, Deuce, I am fighting for the people who don't make a lot of money. And looking at you, Deuce, I think that's you. Join me, Deuce, and we'll make sure all those billionaires pay their fair share of taxes. And maybe a little something for you. Deuce, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to help you achieve what I know has been your impossible dream of getting a date. Deuce, the woman loved me, especially the liberal woman. They're all over me. I'm 84. I think I could spare one. Deuce, I think together it'll be great. You and I work together. It's not fair that all these billionaires have a lot of money and they could go ride on their own private planes. And we have to wait on some photocta line at the TSA. I'm 84. I have to pee. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
One more time for Sam Casson, Joe Biden. I mean, what an amazing act. I mean, amazing job, Sam. It was good. Bernie Sanders, spot on. I was like, I'm more into Colonel Sanders, but that's a different story for a different time. But I'm very excited because we have three amazing comedians left. I'm excited to bring to the next stage, coming all the way from just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and Johns Creek. Please give it up for Manuel Simonette.
Thank you, Jay. Now, I'm a Puerto Rican, but I'm more like the dollar store kind because I don't speak any Spanish. So most people typically have a hard time trying to figure out what my ethnicity is. Many people have mistaken me for Indian, Japanese. Some people think I'm a white guy with a really good tan. The closest anyone's ever gotten was Fez from that '70s show. Now, when I go to the mall security doesn't know whether they should follow me around like I might steal something or just report me to ICE right away. All the while, they're just ignoring the white guy who's actually stealing stuff. And because I don't speak any Spanish, even my family questions my ethnicity at times. I'm constantly asked, ¿Tu hablas español yet? Okay? Which means either, do you speak Spanish yet? Or, what is that terrible smell? So, I live with my parents, usually a red flag when it comes to dating, but for Hispanics, it's called eternal family bonding. Now, my parents are great. They're always trying to look for something to be proud of with me. So when I was growing up, they tried to push me towards sports. Problem is, I know nothing about sports. I never liked sports, and they don't really like me either. I remember back in school, every time I tried doing anything sports related, I would just get hit in the head with a different ball. If I'm running track one day, I get hit in the head with a volleyball. When I played volleyball, I would get hit in the head with a basketball. I considered wrestling for a little bit, but I didn't want to risk getting hit in the head with a guy's two balls. However, I did find my specialty with soccer. Turns out being hit in the head made me a very good goalie. I was even able to break the school record. Yeah, for most trips to the school nurse. Luckily, my older sister was the family athlete, so I didn't have to be. Yeah, my older sister, she was our parents' favorite. They're always referring to her as the one kid they got right. When I was born, my parents almost immediately wanted a redo, though they had my younger brother. Now, as the baby, he quickly rose to their second favorite. As for the third favorite, that went to Tucker, our dog. Of course, I'm kidding. The dog was everybody's favorite. Now, I don't want to live with my parents' house forever, so I decided a while ago that I need to start investing my money. Now, do I invest in stocks or cryptos like most people my age do? No. You see, I invest in Blockbuster's videos. Not the business, but 90s nostalgia from that era. I go to thrift stores and estate sales to find vintage toys to resell on eBay. While Wall Street is looking for the next Bitcoins, I'm looking for old 8-bit games. And I'm just hoping every day that some elderly grandmother undervalues her kids' childhood memories. Now, I did go to college where I studied graphic design, and now I work with cars as an emission inspector. Now, if you don't know what an emission inspector is, it's all right. I don't really know either. I just plug a computer into your car, I press a button, and I wait for the computer to say whether or not your car passes or fails. So several years of college education plus thousands in student loans for a career that comes down to just pushing a button. Now, I said earlier that I know nothing about sports. Well, I know less about cars. It's- So, so my priority will always be to make sure that your car passes no matter what. Because if it fails, that means something's wrong and you're going to have to ask me how to fix it. To which my only response is going to be, Lo siento, no sé. Thank you. My name is Manuel, and I'm pretty sure you've all been a really good audience.
Oh my God, give it up one more time. That's amazing, dude. Great job, man. Well, the I see Blockbuster Video, there it is. I mean, do you remember that like if you didn't rewind at Blockbuster, they would fine you $1 and curse your family name? Like I had a kid raise his hands like, Mr. Yoder, what's rewind? I'm like, dude, in the 90s, it was the only way we knew how to be kind. Okay. Nowadays, it's a mess. All right. We got two amazing performers left. I'm really excited to bring this next comedian to the stage. She's very funny, hails all the way from Newport, New Hampshire. Please give it up for Laurie Batista.
Thank you, Jay. Hello, YouTubers. The great outdoors is a love-hate relationship for me. Nothing I love more than spraying my body with toxic chemicals that I can't even pronounce, like dithiamethyluamide. Like that sounds natural. If that's not convincing, um, the back of the bottle reads, "Caution, extremely flammable." Remember Smokey the Bear? Yeah, only you can prevent forest fires. You know what? I'm going to do my part. I'm going to stop, drop, and roll my ass to the nearest Chipotle. I'll catch you bitches if you make it to the end of the trail. You might think I'm paranoid, and I am. I've seen enough true crime episodes. The other thing is, I don't even want my cold, lifeless body to end in a Dateline episode. The last time I hiked with friends was like the Hunger Games meets Fear Factor. I did what any normal human would do. I sized everyone up. I wasn't going for the string bean vegan full of empty calories. I'm going after the Navy SEAL. I know he took his vitamins and a party pack of proteins. So I'm staying hot on his six. There is no way I'm roasting beetles over an open flame. For the rest of ya, may the odds ever be in your favor. Peace. If you are the outdoorsy type, I get it. Life is good. You're a happy camper, singing Kumbaya, taking the Zen moment at the top of a mountain. You know what? My Zen moment? Pouring whiskey in my Monster Energy drink to numb the pain when I stop, drop, and roll my ass down the mountain. Listen, you might be wondering, why would you even go, Lori? Because I have FOMO, fear of missing out. I mean, my friends pressured me to go zip lining, and FOMO got the best of me. I mean, I'll do just about anything, parasailing, rock climbing, sex swing. Oh my God, long story. All you need to know is my safe word is mango. We meet our tour guides. Christine's paired up with this hot tour guide, long brown hair, brown eyes. I mean, he looked like Jesus on a good day. We all know what Jesus looked like on a bad day, right? But I get paired up with Kyle, some 20-year-old punk wearing his 420 t-shirt with a marijuana graphic tee. Like that was reassuring. So was his contact high. At this point, I'm wondering, why am I paying 150 bucks for a guy who eats blunts for breakfast to trailblaze my ass off a cable, tree to tree? I know how it ends. I've seen Final Destination. So both me and Christine are at the safety debriefing. Zipline Jesus straps Christine in her equipment within like 60 seconds. Meanwhile, Kyle's following a freaking how-to guide. And I'm like, Kyle, what's the deal with this other clip? Oh, that's a dummy clip. No, Kyle, I'm looking at the dummy clip. So Kyle's contact high wasn't enough, so I snag a Cliff Bar off the counter. Kyle smirks at me, says nothing. I'm like, what? Kyle goes, nothing. It'll calm you down. Zipline courses were a breeze. The last zip course was above tree line. Now, all of a sudden, I'm seeing yellow auras. I might have even seen Jesus. So I let Jesus take the wheel. I zip off. I lock eyes with Zipline Jesus. Forget to hit the brake. Zipline backwards down the cable. Of course, Kyle's dazed, blazed, and confused. Didn't know what to do. Edibles probably kicked in. So Zipline Jesus zips towards me. He then wraps his legs around me because, that's what Jesus would do. The only words, honest to goodness, true story, the only words that came out of my mouth were, ooh, mango, mango, mango. Next thing I know, I wake up on the bus. Kyle offers me a free voucher from his other part-time job for tandem skydiving. And I'm like, no, Kyle, you know what? I think I just had my last supper. But if Zipline Jesus is free, I'd love to swing around a mango tree with him sometime. There is no way I'm reliving this hellscape. So I'm done. What I'm saying is I'm done volunteering as tribute. Thank you so much. My name's Lori Batista, and you guys have a great night.
Oh, give it up for Lori Batista. I want to be hot on Zipline Jesus's six. I don't even know. He just sounds like, he just sounds like a good time. So just give it up one more time. Oh, Lori just did an amazing job. I'm so sad we only have one comedian left, but luckily you're in for a treat. This guy is hailing all the way from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Please welcome the very funny Scott Cornell.
Hi there. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. I am taking it just one day at a time because I don't know if you know, but it's tough out there and it's showing no signs of stopping. And I know this because, well, I'm alive and because I follow the Pentagon Pizza Index, which tracks Pentagon pizza deliveries. And an uptick in pizza deliveries to the Pentagon typically indicates major military operations. So I developed the Jefferson Economic Index, which predicts economic downturn by tracking the spending of birthday card dollar bills. That's right. Times are getting tough when the Jeffersons start to emerge and nobody's moving on up. And let's face it, being broke sucks, but spending grandma's $2 bills, that will always feel like a personal finance walk of shame. And let's face it, we're all struggling right now. And there's no really any easy way to say it, but we are still quite divided. And the only way I think we're ever going to really reunite is around a common threat to our existence, like a massive asteroid hurtling towards Earth, or an alien invasion that's enslaving mankind, or a 400-foot Japanese dude running amok in a giant rubber lizard suit. Godzilla is an equal opportunity destroyer. Godzilla treads on both sides of the aisle, and just like gas prices, Godzilla doesn't give a shit. Meanwhile, every Tom, Dick, and Harry seems to be upset about preferred pronouns, but in the same breath will be eager to dead name others out of spite. And those same Tom, Dick, and Harrys will call you out for dead naming the Department of Defense and for not calling it by its preferred name, the Department of War. Look, we spent $52.5 million on this transition, and it's the most expensive and frivolous name change in American history, yet the Tom, Dick, and Harrys have got nothing to say about it. And heaven forbid we allow like 10 athletes out of 500,000 to be comfortable in their own skin and play a little bit of sports ball. I mean, I don't know what's stupider. And to be honest, where the fuck is the Department of Government Efficiency when you need them, huh? So to all the butthurt Thomases, Richards, and Harolds out there, just settle the fuck down, okay? Man, these Epstein files are great, aren't they? They are simply unavoidable. And while tragic, they are the gift that just keeps on giving. In fact, they keep giving to me. They allow me to keep on giving in the bedroom, if you know what I mean. I don't even have to think about baseball anymore. And it's win, win, win. I'm not getting off. She is. And it's just further proof to myself that I'm just not that into billionaires. And did you know that in indigenous cultures, the most feared and severe punishment is banishment from the community? So here's an idea. Since the Epstein class is so fond of islands, I propose we banish them all to an extremely remote one as punishment, and then surround it with heavily armed elite special forces in heavily militarized patrol boats and in heavily shark-infested waters. Because at this point, I mean, even the sharks deserve justice, don't they? So then we cover the island with cameras. Cameras for surveillance, cameras for security, and cameras for our entertainment. Live streamed 24/7 for the 99%, coming this fall, the hottest new reality show, Inmate Island. Will Bill Gates ever get that fire started? Will Howard Lutnick ever find anything soft enough to wipe with? And will Stephen Hawking ever get his wheelchair off of the beach? Tune in this fall for our mystery loot drops. Will it be food? Will it be livid honey badgers? Or will it be the most violent death row inmates our prison system has to offer? This fall, don't miss Inmate Island, Australia, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, where inmate on inmate violence is not only allowed, it's encouraged. Thanks so much, y'all. Have a great night. Give it up for all of our comics. My name is Scott Cornell. Good night.
Oh, give it up for Scott Cornell. I can't wait. Can't wait for that show to do the crossover episode with Fuckboy Island. That's going to be great. I can't wait. Yeah, Fox would be the one to air that. So that all checks off. Well, listen, you guys have, I thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Please follow us on social media at ACI Comedy. Check out our website. We'd love to have you at one of our workshops, even whether it's virtual or live. We'd love to see you. Thank you all. Hope you're already home. If not, get home safe and have a great night.